The room was tense, every word hanging heavy in the air. Cameras rolled, commentators whispered, and the audience leaned forward as Donald Trump launched into yet another familiar defense. He spoke of witch hunts, of fake news, of enemies determined to tear him down. His tone was forceful, his delivery dramatic, but the words were ones America had heard countless times before. Then, in an instant, Barack Obama leaned forward and delivered a single line that shattered the entire act like glass under pressure. He did not raise his voice. He did not need theatrics. His words cut straight through Trump's narrative like a blade. If the truth is a witch hunt, then you've confessed already. The silence that followed was deafening. For the briefest moment, even Trump looked caught off guard. The cameras caught his hesitation, his lips parting as if to reply, but no words coming out. The audience froze, waiting, realizing they had just witnessed something extraordinary. Obama's line wasn't just a rebuttal. It was a demolition, a strike that dismantled the foundation of Trump's defense in less than 10 words. Gasps filled the courtroom, followed by murmurs, then an eruption online as the clip spread within seconds. Commentators didn't need to analyze, social media didn't need to spin. The impact was instant, undeniable, and devastating. A brutal line, perfectly timed, delivered with the calm precision that made it unforgettable. And just like that, the showdown had changed. The confrontation had been building for weeks. Trump's legal team had worked tirelessly to craft his defense, a mix of denial, deflection, and familiar refrains about political persecution. Every time he spoke, he framed himself as the victim, the man unfairly targeted by a system terrified of his return to power. His supporters filled the courtroom benches, nodding, clapping at every word, convinced he was the warrior standing against the establishment. But what no one expected was Barack Obama walking into the room. The former president was not scheduled to appear, not listed on any witness sheet. Yet there he was, calm, composed, carrying himself with the same steady confidence that had once defined his presidency. Cameras swiveled instantly, flashes filled the air, and whispers turned into a roar. Reporters scrambled for headlines. Obama arrives in courtroom. Shock intervention lit up screens across the country. Analysts speculated about his purpose. Was he there to testify, to observe, to confront directly? The mystery only fueled the tension. Trump noticed immediately his expression shifting from his usual bravado to a flicker of unease. He tried to mask it with a smirk, but the presence of Obama was impossible to ignore. For the audience, it was a collision of eras, two figures whose rivalry had defined politics for more than a decade, now standing face to face in the highest stakes setting imaginable. The judge called for order, but the energy in the room refused to settle. Every spectator knew they were about to witness history. This was not simply another trial, not simply another defense. It was Obama and Trump, the clash of words and legacies, a confrontation that could redefine everything. And when Trump began to speak louder than before, insisting that every accusation was a lie, it was clear his defense was no longer aimed at the judge. It was aimed at Obama. Trump leaned into the microphone, his voice sharper now, clearly directed at Obama rather than the courtroom. "You shouldn't even be here," he barked, jabbing a finger in the air. "This is nothing but a disgrace, another attempt by the so-called elites to silence the American people. You had 8 years to fix this country, and you failed. Now you want to lecture me? You were the biggest disaster in presidential history." The words triggered applause from a section of his supporters, but the tension in the room only thickened. Obama didn't move, his calm composure creating a sharp contrast to Trump's raised voice. He simply listened, letting Trump continue, letting him exhaust every accusation. "You spied on my campaign," Trump went on. "You lied about me, you tried to destroy me because you knew I was stronger than you, stronger than Hillary, stronger than Biden. You couldn't stop me then, and you won't stop me now. This is my defense, and America knows it." The judge tapped the gavel, urging order, but Trump pressed forward, pounding the podium with his hand. "This entire process is fake, rigged, weaponized. And look who's here, Barack Hussein Obama, the man who started it all. You want to talk about integrity? You want to talk about truth? Tell the people how you sold out this country while pretending to be their savior." Gasps rippled across the audience. The intensity of his attack lit the room like a firestorm. Reporters typed furiously, commentators whispered in disbelief, and the spectacle grew larger by the second. Obama finally leaned forward, not yet speaking, but his presence alone shifted the atmosphere. Trump's voice grew louder, almost desperate to maintain control. He accused, he deflected, he tried to drown out the silence that loomed like a shadow beside him. Every word Trump delivered was designed to dominate, but every second that Obama remained silent only tightened the anticipation. It was a battle of noise versus restraint, fury versus patience, and the tension was now unbearable. Everyone in the courtroom knew it. The moment of collision was seconds away. The moment came without warning. Trump, red-faced and defiant, slammed his hand down once more and shouted, "This is the greatest witch hunt in American history, and everyone knows it." His supporters erupted, clapping and cheering as if the trial itself had turned into a campaign rally. But Obama finally moved. He leaned forward, lifted his chin slightly, and spoke in a voice that cut clean through the noise. "If the truth is a witch hunt, then you've already confessed." The words landed like a hammer blow. Silence swept the room. Even the gavel in the judge's hand froze midair. Reporters stopped typing, jaws dropped, and the supporters who had just been cheering fell into stunned quiet. Trump blinked, caught off guard, his mouth opening but no response forming. The line was too sharp, too precise. It didn't just counter his argument, it dismantled it completely. In one sentence, Obama had turned Trump's strongest defense into an admission of guilt. The silence lasted only seconds before it shattered. Gasps, murmurs, then an eruption of noise. Commentators whispered, "Did he just say that?" The clip was already hitting Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, spreading in real time. The phrase was repeated again and again, captions bolded on screens across America. "If the truth is a witch hunt, then you've already confessed." Trump tried to recover, forcing a laugh, waving dismissively, but his voice cracked when he spoke. That's nonsense. That's just a line. He's always been good at lines. People don't care about lines, they care about results." But the desperation was clear, the momentum gone. Obama leaned back, saying nothing more. He didn't need to. The brutal line hung in the air, echoing louder than any speech. It wasn't just a rebuttal. It was a turning point. And in that moment, America erupted. Within minutes, the line was everywhere. News networks broke into live coverage, replaying the clip in endless loops. Social media exploded with hashtags. #Obama line, #Trump, confessed, #witch hunt, no more. Memes spread across timelines, each one echoing the moment that had just shaken the political world. Commentators struggled to keep pace. On CNN, anchors called it the line that ended Trump's defense. On Fox News, analysts scrambled to spin it, arguing Obama's remark was a cheap shot. But even there, the weight of the words couldn't be ignored. MSNBC labeled it the sentence that split America. In living rooms, bars, and offices across the country, people repeated it out loud. "If the truth is a witch hunt, then you've already confessed." It was quoted in classrooms, posted on signs, whispered at rallies. Overnight, it became more than just a line. It became a symbol, a dividing marker in the nation's conversation about Trump, truth, and accountability. Trump's allies tried to push back. They went on talk shows, insisting Obama was irrelevant, that the comment was just theater. But their frantic tone betrayed the reality. The damage was done. Every attempt to discredit the remark only amplified it further. The more they argued, the more it spread. Obama, meanwhile, said nothing more. His silence was deliberate, his single line left to echo without explanation or elaboration. That restraint gave it even greater power. One strike, then stillness, a contrast to Trump's endless words. America was left buzzing, divided yet electrified. To his critics, Obama had exposed Trump's defense for what it was: hollow, circular, and self-defeating. To Trump's loyalists, the moment was another example of an establishment figure trying to humiliate their champion. But regardless of which side people were on, no one could deny what had happened. It was a collision of legacies, a clash of styles, and the line that would be remembered long after the trial ended. Obama had delivered it once, and the nation carried it forward endlessly, proving that sometimes a single sentence can shake the foundations of politics more than any speech, rally, or defense. One brutal line, one shattered defense, one nation erupting in its aftermath.